The movie starts and it's insane. There's this woman and she's tied up and super messed up, bleeding everywhere and just making these awful pain sounds. It's so hard to watch. And then this guy just walks up, pulls out a gun, and bam, shoots her, just like that. Okay, so after that crazy scene, we meet these 6 students. They're all med students, so they're supposed to be smart, right? They're trying to hike to this lake that's way out in the middle of nowhere. It's a huge trip, like days away from anything. All mountains and forest. They've been walking forever, they're totally lost, and it's getting dark. So they're exhausted and decide to just set up camp and find the lake in the morning. And get this, one of the guys, Matt, is about to propose to his girlfriend, Brienne. It's supposed to be this super romantic trip. So that night, they're all sitting around the campfire, and they hear this weird noise from the woods. They all get a little nervous, but this one guy, Jesse, is all like, chill out, it's probably just a wolf or something, no biggie. So they ignore it and go to their tents. A little later, Matt goes off to take a leak and Brienne is just waiting for him to come back. But then Matt hears that sound again and sees this thing. It looks kind of human, but it's moving all weird and animal-like. He's totally shocked. And then it just jumps him. It rips his stomach open and starts pulling his guts out. It's so gross. He's dead, instantly. So Brienne's been waiting forever. She gets worried and goes looking for him with a flashlight. She's calling his name, and then she finds him, and the creature is just eating his body. She totally freaks out, drops her flashlight, and just starts screaming. And then the monster just goes for her too. Everyone else hears her screaming, and they all run out of their tents. They find Brienne passed out and all bloody. But when they see what happened to Matt, they just lose it. They're totally terrified. They know they're in big, big trouble. Okay, so the next morning, they're all freaking out. And then this random guy, Talbot, just shows up out of nowhere. He's like, I've got a cabin nearby with food and medical stuff. Your friend is in bad shape. You should bring her there. They don't have a choice, so they make a stretcher and carry Brienne to his cabin. So the plan is 2 of them, Jesse and Jules, are going to hike back for help, and the rest will stay at the cabin. Later, one of the girls takes Talbot back to where Matt died, but get this, the body is gone. There's just a little bit of blood left. And they're like, okay, a regular animal did not do this. Because if an animal did it, there would be bones or at least drag marks, right? But there was nothing. Okay, so back with Jesse and Jules, they're running through the woods trying to get out before dark. But then they start fighting, and Jules shoves Jesse, and he steps right into a frickin' bear trap. Snap! His leg is totally messed up, and he's just screaming in pain. Jules tries to get him out, but the trap is clamped down way too tight. Jesse, in agony, is like, just go back to the cabin and get help. So Jules has to run all the way back. Meanwhile, at the cabin, this girl Alice is getting a really bad vibe. She's been suspicious of Talbot the whole time. She tells her friend Gina, I don't trust this guy. Okay, so a whole day passes. It's night again. Jules is totally lost in the woods, and poor Jesse is still stuck in that trap. And then Jules hears something moving around her, and we see it. It's that same creature, and it's getting closer and closer to her. She hides under this big fallen tree, and she's so scared she can barely breathe because the creature is literally right above her head. And then we realize, get this, the thing is blind. It's hunting her using sound and smell. Back at the cabin, Alice peeks in and sees Talbot giving Brienne a shot of something. She pulls a gun on him and is like, what are you doing? What's in that syringe? He just says, it's just antibiotics. But Alice doesn't buy it. She tells him to stop, but he's like, I have to do this. So she just shoots him in the shoulder. Then she smacks him in the head and he's down. Right then, she hears those weird noises outside again. She goes to check and she sees it, that human-looking creature, moving all weird. She's totally shocked. Inside, Gina is pointing the gun at the injured Talbot, making sure he doesn't move. And he tells her, you have no idea, we're all in danger. You have to shoot your friend. You have to kill Brienne or none of us will survive. Gina freaks out and just tells him to shut up and fires a warning shot. In the confusion, Talbot manages to run out of the cabin and disappears. So now it's just Alice, Gina, and the injured Brienne in the cabin. They're totally lost and don't know what to do. Then Alice finds a secret door to a basement. They go down, and it's so creepy. There are all these weird chemicals and medical supplies, and there's a bed with handcuffs on it. It looks like a torture chamber. They're convinced Talbot is some kind of serial killer. Just then, Jules finally makes it back to the cabin, totally exhausted and terrified. She tells Alice about the monster and that Jesse is trapped and in danger. And Alice is like, oh my God, I just saw that thing too. And then we cut back to Jesse, still stuck in the trap, and the creature finds him and just cuts his throat. He's dead. Alice and Jules grab a stretcher and run back to help him, but by the time they get there, it's too late.
Okay, so they find Jesse, and he's not breathing, but get this. His heart is still beating, and his eyes have totally changed color. It's so weird. Alice thinks he's still alive, so she and Jules manage to get him on the stretcher and start dragging him back. It takes them forever, but they finally get back to the cabin. Now everyone is just miserable. They're trapped, 2 of their friends are super injured, and there's no way to get help. And then Brienne starts getting even worse. Her hair and teeth are falling out. So messed up. They all decide to try for help again in the morning and go to sleep. But then Talbot just shows up again. He sneaks back into his own cabin. Jules is asleep, so he just takes the gun from her, points it at Alice, and is like, do exactly what I say if you want to live. But then Jules wakes up and stabs him in the back with a knife. Alice is like, what are you doing to us? We saw your creepy basement. And while they're all yelling, Jesse wakes up. But he's not Jesse anymore. He's a full-on, terrifying monster. He just attacks Gina and then escapes out the window. Okay, so now Talbot finally spills the beans. He tells them everything. He says he came there with his family, his son got hurt in the woods and then got super sick, and one night his son just transformed. He killed his wife, his other kid, everyone. He says it's this thing called the feral virus. It gets in the body, takes over your nervous system, kills you, and then just uses your body like a puppet. But here's the weird part. It doesn't work in the sun. So during the day, they just look like dead bodies, but at night, they become super active killing machines. And get this, Talbot was a doctor. He had to capture his own family down there. And that woman from the beginning of the movie, that was one of them. He couldn't find a cure, so he had to kill them. His son escaped and is now that creature they've all seen. So now Matt, Jesse, and Brienne are all infected. And since Jesse attacked Gina, she's infected too. He looks at Alice and is like, you have to be smart. You have to kill all of them, or they'll turn and eat us. But Alice is like, no way, I'm not killing my friends. But Talbot was right. Brienne starts to transform, so they drag her to the basement to tie her up, but she manages to injure Gina in the struggle. Brienne is turning into a monster right in front of them, and Talbot has to inject her with something to knock her out. Everyone is freaking out, thinking they're all going to die. But Alice isn't giving up. She grabs a gun and goes upstairs just as all the creatures start attacking the house. It's a full-on siege, and she's just shooting at everything that moves. But then in the basement, Talbot goes crazy. He knocks Jules out, then attacks Alice and ties them both up. He goes outside, and then, total karma, his own monster son attacks and kills him. When Alice wakes up, she's tied up in the basement, and Gina has fully turned and is about to attack her. Alice manages to break free just in time and has to kill Gina. She tells Jules to run, but then Jesse jumps out and bites Jules' foot. So now it's just Alice. Everyone else is dead or a monster. And Jules looks at her and is like, I don't want to become one of them. Please, kill me. But Alice can't do it. So Jules just takes the gun and shoots herself. Alice, the only one left, just stumbles out of that horrible cabin. And the movie just ends. Total nightmare.